Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Sage. What is up? Today we're gonna answer some questions that I got from the last video. In the last video, I asked you guys to ask me some questions about damage reduction. I told you I will give you the answers, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. And we're gonna make this real short and simple. And if I have to give a detailed explanation, I'll do that. But other than that, I'm just gonna give you the answers, and that's it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. This is probably gonna be the last time you see this handsome, beautiful face for the next 3 weeks, because I'm going to be going out to Barcelona, then Rome, then south of France. I'm going to like 4 different countries, so I'll be gone for the next 3 weeks. So I won't be back for a while, but I will be thinking about you guys, and I can't wait to get back to make more videos. So anyway, let's get to this. We're going to go right into the questions right now. First question from my man, I am Clasha. I have a FLAMEGUARD 8 of 8. Is it stacked with Victory Lounge level 5? And tell us how is the calculate if we put FLAMEGUARD or STONESKIN on a newbies and gunslinger, because they have reduction damage. And thank you so much, dude. The answer to question number 1 is yes, Victory's Lunge will stack with FLAMEGUARD. You're going to get additional damage reduction, and you're going to get additional damage deflection. It's going to stack right on top of it. And if you, for instance, had an 8 of 8 FLAMEGUARD and you got Victory's Lunge 5, that's going to mean that you're going to be reducing damage by 60%. Which, by the way, is the exact same amount of damage reduction you get from 8 of 8 STONESKIN. There will be no difference in the calculation. Now, the second part of that question was they were asking, how do you calculate the damage reduction, the total damage reduction? So we're going to use Gunslinger because it's very easy for me to remember what her damage is at 10, what is it, 10 of 10, or no, 10 of 12, 11 of 12, and 12 of 12, she's reducing 90% damage. So that's very easy to calculate. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 minus 90%. Okay, so what you're going to do is take whatever that first number is, that first reduction number, and you're going to subtract it by 1. 1 minus 90% equals 0.1. Okay, and then we're going to do whatever the STONESKIN. Okay, so STONESKIN is 60%. So we're going to calculate that next. 1 minus 60%. That equals 0.4. Okay, so now we're going to take that number and we're going to multiply it by the first number. 0.4 times 0.1 equals 0.04. So what we do with this number is we're going to convert this to a whole number. So we move the decimal up by 2 spaces, so we get 4, and this is going to tell us the additional amount of damage we're receiving after putting on that STONESKIN. But that's kind of hard to, we don't think of Castle Clash in amount of damage. We're thinking about that we're receiving. We're thinking about the amount of damage that we're not receiving. So what we want to do is subtract that 4 by 100. That's minus 4, 96, and that's the answer, 96%. So that means that that's with STONESKIN and Gunslinger's proc active, where she's reducing damage, she's reducing damage by a total of 96%. Now this is the steps to calculate damage reduction. You can use this for any hero, Anubis, any hero that has a stack, that has a reduction in their proc, and also has STONESKIN or FLAMEGUARD. You can use the same calculation and it will get you the amount of percentage that they're actually reducing damage when you stack them together. All right, now we have a question from Wits4. Hi Sage, thanks for the explanation. I have 8/8 FLAMEGUARD on my rock note and 3 of 5 victory lunge. It seems to stack to deflect. I would love to see a comparison of maxed out damage reduction versus maxed out deflect. Does deflect stack the same way? For example, can I add the 16% deflect from victory lunge to my 6% deflect from 8 of 8 flame guard to add up to 76% deflect? Very curious about that. Greetings from the Netherlands. Well, it's not 16% deflect, it's 15% deflect, and 8 of 8 flame guard will give you 45% deflect. But anyway, let's answer the question. All right, question number 2. First part of that question, will Victory's Lunge stack with Flame Guard? Yes, it will. It will stack. It's not going to stack like you think it will, but it will stack. And it's not even stacking. You can add the Victory's Lunge to the Flame Guard, and you can increase the percentage. So instead of 45% reduction and deflection, now you're getting, when you add the Victory's Lunge, you're getting 60% reduction and deflection. The deflection will add on. However, remember that you're only going to deflect the amount of damage that you receive. Now, when Castle Clash calculate the amount of damage you receive, it's going to first deduct the damage that is in the hero's proc. So what I mean is, Gunslinger has a 90% damage deduction in her proc. That's going to be calculated first before the Flame Guard and Victory Lunge is calculated. So let me give you an example, and just be patient with me, because this is the only way to explain this. And I'm gonna try to do this real quick. If you receive an 100,000 K damage, let's say your Gunslinger gets hit by Skull Knight for 100K damage, and she's already proccing at the time she gets hit, she's gonna reduce that damage by 90%. So let's do 100,000 times 90%. That's going to equal 90,000 that's being reduced. So that means that now, if you do 100,000 minus 90,000, and I'm going step by step. I know I can do this in my head, but it's better to do it this way. It's going to leave her with 10,000 damage. This is the actual damage that she's taking in. This is where Flame Guard and Victory's Lunge apply to this 10,000 number. So from the 10,000 number, we're going to combine Flame Guard and Victory's Lunge. So that's 60% damage deflection from this 10,000. Okay, so what we're going to do is multiply this 10,000 by 60%, and that equals 6,000. This is the damage that's being deflected, 6,000. 6,000 is being deflected. And if you want to know the damage she's taken from that, you'll put 10,000, because that's the amount of damage she's taken in. And after the deduction, after the 6,000 deduction, she's receiving 4,000. Okay, so let me summarize this, because I know but I'm just showing you every step. I'm sorry about that, but I'm trying to do it. She gets hit for 100,000. After the proc kicks in, she's taking 10,000. After the Flame Guard and the Victory's Lunge kicks in, she's deflecting 6,000, and she's receiving or taking in now 4,000. So 4,000 is what she's going to be left with, which is the same as if you just stacked on the damage reduction as, 96%. It's the same as the last answer, but you have to separate the two if you want to calculate the damage deflection. You have to do it separate to see what the damage deflection is. Sorry about that long answer, but that's the answer. All right, now we got a question from Luigi W. Messina. He says, Sage, my man, I love your talent videos and all. In general, could you please tell us how come many people put STONESKIN on Gunslinger? Why is that, man? Cheers and keep it up. Well, the answer to that is pretty simple. Gunslinger, her talent that you place on her, it doesn't affect those warflies. If you put heavy blow on her for a talent, for instance, the warflies aren't going to be stunning the enemy as they approach your base. So War God, these other talents that are attack based, it doesn't affect her war flies, and the war flies are the main source of her power. Let's just be honest. You want to keep her alive long enough so that she doesn't die and she could keep spitting out those war flies. Another thing is STONESKIN is going to give her the most damage reduction, or FLAMEGUARD with Victory's Lunge will also give her 60% damage reduction. So this is applied before she procs, and when she procs, she gets a 90% damage reduction stacked on with the 6% that she's getting from the STONESKIN. That's 96% damage reduction. So you're keeping her alive the longest with STONESKIN. Last question from a man, Rocks 1980. Now I'm not going to read this because it's kind of a mini rant, but the gist of this is, why is it important to look at the math? Who cares? People make their choices. Some people prefer this talent over that talent. It's a free country. Why is it important to look at it this deeply? Well, you can play this game as a casual player, just have some fun. But if you want to be at the top of the leaderboard, if you want to be top of the arena, if you want to have an unbeatable Guild War base, or you want to always get top score in Guild War, if you want to squeeze the most out of your heroes, you want to have them have the most damage reduction possible, if you want their attack to be the highest possible, if you want to make this game a little bit easier on yourself, your gameplay a little bit easier, then you're going to want to study the math. That's what all the top players do. They're all very smart at this game. They choose their talents wisely. They think of everything as just like chess, and you have to study every single combination to do that. You know, you got your traits, you got your enchantments, you got your talents, you got your inscription level, you got all this stuff. You got your destiny bonus, you got all this stuff that you have to consider placing on your hero, and they all come with attack values, damage values. So if you want to squeeze the most out of all of that stuff and make your hero as powerful as possible, then that is what you do. You study the math. All right, with that, I'm going to end this video. I'll be back in about 3 weeks with another Castle Clash video. You can take all those or follow the steps that I was showing you in determining damage reduction or deduction, or however you say it. Just take those steps. You can plug in whatever numbers you need to compute your own hero's values into that equation, and then you'll get the answer. So that's how you get the answer to total damage deduction right there, what I showed you. I tried to explain everything as I was showing you, but it's kind of, I'm not a teacher, and I'm actually kind of just doing this while I'm driving home. That's why you can hear all the ambient noise in the back. So but it's still correct, even though, you know, I didn't explain it in the best, most concise way. Hey, what do you want me to do? I'm driving home and making a Castle Clash video. I'm multitasking and smoking a cigar. So there you go. So hey man, I will see you guys later. I want you guys to be safe for these next 3 weeks, and look for my video to pop up in a couple of weeks, and I'll tell you all about my trip, and we're gonna keep it live, we're gonna keep it fresh, and I'll see you guys later again. Once again, love you all, take care, peace.